Every single day, billions of people wake up, go to work, trade their time for money, pay their bills, and repeat the cycle until they are too old or too tired to continue. They follow the rules they were taught. Stay in school, get good grades, find a stable job, save a little, maybe invest in a retirement account, and trust the system. But here is the uncomfortable truth that the wealthiest people on the planet have always known and have never once advertised to the general public. The system was not designed for you to win. It was designed to keep you participating. There is a profound difference between those two things, and understanding that difference is the first crack in a wall that most people never even realize exists around them. The financial world is not complicated by accident. The confusion, the jargon, the endless fine print, the overwhelming number of products, accounts, funds, and vehicles. None of that complexity happened by coincidence. It was architected, layer by layer, over centuries, to ensure that the average person remains dependent on institutions they do not understand, paying fees they cannot see, for services that quietly work against their long-term interests while appearing helpful on the surface. The first truth they hide is deceptively simple. Money is not what you think it is. You were taught that money is a reward for hard work. That is a beautiful story and an almost entirely false one. Money, in its modern form, is debt. Every dollar, every pound, every euro in circulation was created when a bank issued a loan. It did not come from a vault of gold. It did not represent real labor stored somewhere. It was typed into existence on a screen, borrowed into being, and sent circulating through an economy where real people trade real hours of their finite lives for it. The moment you understand that money is created by private institutions as debt and then lent to governments and citizens at interest, you begin to see the entire economic structure differently. You begin to ask who benefits from a world where the supply of money is always expanding, where inflation is considered normal and even desirable, and where saving in cash is quietly one of the slowest ways to lose purchasing power ever devised. Inflation is not a weather event. It is a policy, and that policy transfers wealth from people who hold cash to people who hold assets every single year, without anyone needing to steal anything, without any crime being committed, without a single alarm going off anywhere. The second truth is about assets versus income, and this is where the gap between the wealthy and everyone else becomes almost impossible to close once you fall behind it. The working and middle class are trained to think in terms of income, the paycheck, the salary, the hourly rate. The wealthy think in terms of assets, things that generate income without requiring their direct time. A business, a portfolio of stocks, real estate, intellectual property, royalties. The difference is not just philosophical, it is structural. Income is taxed first and hardest. In most countries, wages face the highest marginal tax rates of any financial category. Meanwhile, capital gains, the profits from selling assets, are taxed at significantly lower rates. Dividends, carried interest, depreciation deductions, and a dozen other mechanisms exist that allow asset owners to legally pay lower effective tax rates than the nurses, teachers, and mechanics who serve them. This is not a conspiracy theory. It is written openly in the tax code of virtually every developed nation on Earth. The wealthy did not hide it. They lobbied for it, wrote it into law, and then counted on the fact that most people would never read it. The third truth is about compounding, and why starting late is not just inconvenient, but mathematically devastating. A person who invests consistently from age 22 to 32 and then stops will, in most historical models, end up wealthier at retirement than someone who starts at 32 and invests consistently for 30 years straight. 10 years of early compounding beats 30 years of late compounding. This is not a motivational slogan. It is arithmetic. And yet the education system that shapes every child in this country spends years teaching algebra, literature, and historical dates, and almost no time teaching compound interest, asset allocation, or the time value of money. That omission is either a catastrophic oversight or a deliberate feature of a system that benefits when the population remains financially illiterate long enough to make the early decisions that will define the rest of their financial lives before they understand what those decisions actually mean. The fourth truth is about risk and who actually bears it. The 2008 financial crisis is the clearest modern example. Banks made reckless bets with borrowed money on financial instruments so complex that even their own risk departments did not fully understand them. When those bets collapsed and the system teetered, governments stepped in with public money, taxpayer money, to rescue the institutions that had caused the damage. The executives kept their bonuses. The shareholders recovered as markets rebounded. The homeowners who lost their houses did not get them back. The workers who lost their jobs during the recession did not receive retroactive compensation. The risk had been socialized, while the profits had been privatized. This is not an anomaly. It is a pattern, and it will repeat because the incentive structures that produced it were never fundamentally dismantled, only temporarily embarrassed. The fifth, and perhaps most important truth, is the one about attention. The financial system survives on your distraction. It needs you focused on consumption, on the next purchase, on the entertainment cycle, on the social comparison that makes you spend money to signal status to people who are themselves in debt, trying to signal status back to you. The entire consumer economy is engineered to keep money moving through your hands, rather than accumulating in them. Every advertisement is a request for your money. Every subscription is a slow drain. Every upgrade, every trend, every limited time offer is a carefully designed nudge away from wealth accumulation and toward wealth transfer. From your pocket to someone else's asset column. The people who build lasting wealth are not smarter than you. They are not luckier in most cases. They are simply playing a different game, one where they understood early that the rules visible to everyone were written for consumers, and the rules that actually create generational wealth are learned separately, taught quietly, and passed down in rooms most people never enter. The truth was never hidden behind a locked door. It was hidden in plain sight, buried under distraction, complexity, and the comfortable noise of a system that works perfectly, just not for you.